Have you ever wondered what a nutritionist eats in a day? How about what a nutritionist eats when traveling and stuck in a hotel room with no kitchen? Well, today I'm going to be hanging out with you guys from breakfast through dinner to show you guys what I am eating while I'm stuck in this rather fabulous hotel room with no access to my beloved kitchen. Metabolic Living family, it's Bella here. I am the lead nutritionist and recipe developer at Metabolic Living. Welcome to our channel. Today I'm going to be taking you guys through an entire day of eating while I'm stuck at this rather delightful hotel room, unfortunately not for a fancy holiday, but I'm going to be showing you guys what I eat for breakfast, lunch and dinner while I have really no equipment at all. So let's get going with breakfast. I did wake up about 2 hours ago. I've had some coffee with my homemade coffee creamer. Maybe I'll bring that recipe to you guys if you fancy it, but we're going to be starting off with breakfast. Now when it comes to breakfast, I really try and prioritize 3 things: protein, fiber and healthy fats. Those 3 things personally for me are going to keep me nice and satiated until lunch. And so today while traveling, I am going to be creating a protein parfait. Now for this recipe, you are going to need half a cup of either organic Greek yogurt if you do dairy, or if you're like me and you don't tolerate dairy that well, you can do a coconut milk based yogurt. So I've got about half a cup in there. We're also going to be using some fresh fruit today, so I've chosen strawberries. This is just a 1/4 cup of fresh strawberries diced finely. Now obviously these can be difficult to travel with, so what I do is when I arrive at a hotel, pop to the nearest grocery store and grab some fresh berries of some kind. They're also really great for snacking or dessert if you fancy it. Now in this little bowl, I actually have some grain-free granola. Now this is one that I've actually made myself and brought with me, but same thing, you can go to the nearest grocery store, and just when you're looking for granolas, make sure you choose ones that are lower in sugar. I personally do like to choose the grain-free ones, mainly because they're kind of focused on those healthy fats rather than carbs, and they also tend to have no or less added sugar as well. And then obviously the highlight of this dish is going to be our metabolic super protein. I've talked about this amazing protein before, but for me personally, with that slight sensitivity to dairy, this one actually doesn't affect me at all. It's a really high quality whey protein. It also has a digestive enzyme blend in there, so it's nice for people like me, but it also is just a great source of protein and tastes absolutely amazing. So what you're going to do is get creative with what you guys have at your hotel. I have a few little things that they've provided me, but they're obviously really small and kind of pathetic, but you can also use some disposable ones or bring your own Tupperwares, whatever you fancy. So what you're going to do first of all is grab your yogurt, and then you're going to add about half a scoop of metabolic super protein. So I'm actually using the vanilla one here. And I add this again to just increase protein in this dish, helping to keep me nice and satiated and full until lunch, so I'm not just mindlessly snacking, especially when I'm stuck in the hotel room. So just mixing that together nicely until smooth and combined. Okay, fabulous. And then very, very simply, I'm going to pop on my granola. Now this is about a 1/4 cup. Granola can be quite energy dense, as I like to call it, so make sure that you use it sparingly. And then lastly, I am just topping my berries off. Berries are obviously a great source of antioxidants, but what I also love about them is they do provide some sweetness without, having to add refined sugars or even honey and maple syrup and things like that. There we go, guys. Very, very easy way to start the day. It's going to keep me nice and full. It's really, really delicious, and it can be whipped together in your hotel room in minutes. So I'm going to tuck onto this, and I'll probably see you guys in a few hours at lunchtime, if that's all right. It's time for lunch. I'm absolutely ravenous, so I thought I would show you guys a very, very simple lunch. You can have this at home or in a hotel room. It is my tuna salad lettuce wraps. So what you're going to need for this one is a whole head of butter lettuce. Well, technically, I guess you need probably about a cup, but I like to just buy a whole head. You can never have too much greens, am I right? Over here on this plate, I actually have a 1/4 cup of English cucumbers diced up, and then I also have a 1/4 cup of dill pickles diced up. I actually pre-chopped these before I got here in this Tupperware. You can also go and just buy some as well. And then I'm also going to be using 1 can of tuna. You're also going to need 1 lemon, just sliced in half for some flavor. And then in here we've got half a cup of, again, your yogurt. Now, little note, this full recipe is actually up on the Metabolic Living blog. Just type in tuna salad wraps and you're going to find a full recipe of this with all sorts of different added flavors and condiments. Essentially what you're going to do is just pop your tuna into a Tupperware, just mash it up with a fork. This lunch recipe is a really great source of protein and fiber from those veggies, and that's essentially what I usually focus on always for lunch to prevent any kind of crazy blood sugar roller coasters and to keep me nice and satiated until dinner time. So I've kind of mashed up my tuna, so to speak, over there, and I'm going to add in my diced cucumber and my pickles. So popping them in. This is going to provide a really, really delicious crunch as well as providing some extra hydration there. So popping that in, and then I'm going to add in my yogurt. You could also use avocado here if you fancy it, which is also really delicious in a tuna salad. Dairy or dairy-free yogurt is going to work great. So just mix it all up. This is already smelling delicious, and it really goes to show that you don't need like a ton of seasonings and stuff in these. You can quite simply whip together a very, very healthy and simple lunch. I'm very excited to tuck in. I am, as I said, pretty ravenous. Okay, so mixing that all together, it's nice and creamy and delicious, and then just topping it off with a little bit of lemon juice, just adding a really nice and refreshing flavor. Yum. Now what you're going to do is grab a plate. Obviously my hotel has provided me with a very tiny little plate, but that's okay. And here's my hydroponically grown butter lettuce, so I'm going to just pop off some big ones over here and just essentially create a little bed of lettuce. Now you can of course sub this out for any leafy green of your choice, and then quite simply just dollop some tuna salad into the middle. Now you can fold these up as wraps or quite frankly just eat it as a salad. I quite like to do that, and especially at hotels it's just kind of maybe easier to do that. So bung it all on there. This is 1 serving, but as you see there's quite a lot, so I'm going to start off with this, or just have it tomorrow. Not a biggie at all. But yeah, I'm going to go and enjoy my lunch now. I hope you guys have a great afternoon, and I will see you at dinner time. Finish. Good evening, everybody. I hope you guys have had a fabulous afternoon. It's dinner or supper, whatever you fancy calling it, and we are going to be making Greek chicken bowls. Now, in general, power bowls are a really, really great one for travel because majority of the time, especially if you pre-prep the ingredients, no cooking required. So for this recipe, you are going to need either 1 packet of rice cauliflower, or if you like to do grains, you can do just an organic sprouted and soaked grain. Something like brown rice is great. For me today, I'm going to be using this rice cauliflower. These packets are really handy dandy, although I do love to pre-prep mine. This is just so much easier for travel. Only thing I don't love is that it's not organic. You know, when traveling, you got to do what you got to do. And then over here, I've got a 1/4 cup of arugula. Now, if you're trying to be resourceful, you can use that butter lettuce from earlier, but I actually brought 2 types of greens for my trip since I am here for a week. And then in here, I have 1 chicken breast that I cooked at home and then just diced it up and popped it in a little mini Tupperware. That's going to be my protein source for this evening. And then I've also got some organic cherry tomatoes, about 1/2 cup here, that I'm going to see how much I want to use. In here, I've actually created my own tzatziki using that yogurt from this morning, but if you don't fancy making your own, you can of course just buy some and bring that along with you, or just use the yogurt, whatever you fancy there. And then in here I have a 1/4 cup of our cucumber. Again, trying to be resourceful here, obviously, as you know, we use this at lunchtime as well. I always bring olives for snacking. They're just a really great source of healthy fats. This is just entirely to taste, probably about 2 tablespoons, whatever you fancy. And then here is my same Tupperware that I used earlier for the tuna salad. I just washed it out and now I can use it again for dinner time. So what you're going to do, very, very simple, is pop everything into the bowl. So I'm going to be using this rice cauliflower. Gosh, probably should have thought about opening this. Yeah, she's done it. Just rip. The cauliflower has flown over my hotel room. Anyway, pour in your cauliflower. Obviously, you can heat this up if you fancy, but I don't mind it cold at all. Anyway, then you're going to pop on your greens, so that goes on the next layer. Really lovely balanced meal, this. And then we're going to add our proteins. Again, my chicken. So popping that on. Maybe I'll put it over to one side to try and make this a little pretty. And again, you can heat up these things if you like, but I truly don't mind a cold bowl at all. So there's my chicken breast. Now I'm going to add some of my cherry tomatoes on here. Nice, nice. Love a good cherry tomato. Now we're going to add our cucumber. Just popping our cucumber onto that next quadrant. Delicious. And then some of our tzatziki. And I kind of just grab a little bit of this with each bite. Almost acts like a salad dressing and a dip. Love tzatziki. Finally, just going to throw on a few of my olives. Again, a really great source of healthy fat here and adds quite a lot of flavor to this dish. Okay, there you have it. How easy was that? I mean, that was probably like 2 minutes. But yeah, get all those ingredients. If you pre-prep them before and plan ahead, that is going to be great for you. And then just put them in your Tupperware, grab a fork and tuck on in. Very, very simple. Well, guys, that concludes our day of eating. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really hope that this was helpful and inspires you the next time that you travel. If you did enjoy this video, please be sure to give us a thumbs up. And I would love to hear in the comments below, what are your favorite dishes to bring when traveling? If you have any tips for me, I would love to hear them also. Make sure you also subscribe to our Metabolic Living channel if you are on the hunt for new recipes, culinary tips, workout videos, and more. We have all things metabolic here. And then also make sure that you follow us on social media. We are at Metabolic Living and we are on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and of course, YouTube. Thanks so much for stopping by, guys. Have an absolutely fabulous day and I will see you very soon in the next video. Boom. It's a good one.